Hi, I'm going to show you how to submit an expense claim through Xero. This is understanding that you have bought something for the company that you work at using your own money, and now you are want to go through a process of getting that money back. So you log into Xero, you click on accounts, you click on expense claims, then you would add a receipt. And every company is different, but I'm going to give you a good guideline on how to do it, and then your individual company might have slightly different rules. So who did you receive it from? So in our case, I look at it, the invoice was from PC Complete. So I go PC, straight away some options come up. If you can't see the option here, again, your business might have different rules, but if you can't have it, if you don't have it here, add the supplier and let your bookkeeper or accountant know. In my case, I've got the right supplier. What was the date of the invoice? So you look on there and we see that it's the 2nd of January 2018. So we would choose that. Again, a lot of companies don't let you go to prior months, so speak to your accountant if you've got something that relates to the prior month. Reference, if you don't know any other reference to give the invoice number. Auditors do like that. So that's 100. So I'll just say invoice 100. Okay. What is the total expense claim? If you're doing one invoice like this, then obviously you can just go get the bottom amount, 108.35. If you're doing a batch of invoices on one document, then obviously that's going to be more tricky because your receipt there is different. So generally try to keep one receipt per supplier unless you've been given permission by your accountant. What did we buy? Well, let's have a look. We bought a 32 gig USB memory stick. So I'm going to type in 32 gigabyte USB memory stick. The more information, the better. So especially for the person approving it. So you can say for Mary Stevenson. That's helpful. We bought one of them and it cost 100. If you look over here, there it is, 100. You'll see there is some tax later on. I know in South Africa we got 14%. This is just on the demo company example. So we'll make sure that by the end of it, we get to the 108.25. So we're now in the account, that's telling the person what you bought in a higher level. So this was exactly, I bought a memory stick. Memory stick is part of computers. So if I go computer, you'll see there's computer expenses and computer equipment. So generally, if it's in South Africa, if it's under 7,000 Rand, it would be more in the expenses category. But again, check with your accountant. So as soon as I click on that, automatically the tax is being set up for you. So you don't have to stress. And I see, so you know, you can this is generally right. If it's something new and you're not sure, things like groceries and food for staff and stuff, generally there's no VAT, but your accountant would probably have set this up right. Now you'll notice that in this case, our invoice is 100 plus 8.25, taking me to 108.25. In this instance, in this account in Xero, you'll see it says includes tax of 8, which is now wrong. So I'd have to now change that to 108.25. And then you'll see that we're getting back to what we want. And then within Xero, you can have two additional fields to choose from. And in here, you know, each company is different. So gain an understanding from your accountant. In this example, there's regions. So I would say this is part of the South region. And then that's it. If I'm happy, I've done it right. Again, the standard is to go ahead. There you can see exclusive, inclusive. So we could have done that as exclusive and type that as 100. And then that gets us to 108.25. So just watch that over there. But yeah, at this stage, you could say, but then the first question you're going to get asked is, well, is this showing me the invoice? So what Xero does, which is great, it allows you to attach. So I can upload a file and lets me browse. So I go to where I saved it on my computer. and I can put it in there. A lot of companies also want you to have written on that, so you know, like signed it off or whatever, but depending on each of your businesses. So now I can hit save, and then I would go and I'd add the next one and the next one and the next one. So once I've done all of them, I would be ready. So now I would click the ones I want to submit, okay, and I'll say submit for approval. And you say, yeah, that's great. So I hit OK, and now that goes to your boss or whoever it is next. They'll come in and they'll go accounts, expense claims. And then they'll see, hey, there's one that's awaiting authorization. So they'll click in here, and they'll say, oh, okay, Alan submitted that on the 12th. Okay, there's one receipt. Great. So I click on that. It'll list all my receipts here. If I know what it is, I can just go straight away and approve. You'll see there's also this nice thing around notes. But hey, I don't recognize this. I'm not sure. So I click through on it. It opens up the detail, and I can say, okay, that makes it, oh yeah, Mary, that's cool. 108.25. Hey, let me have a look at the invoice. So I click on that. And it shows me that it is PC complete. It is January. It is a 32 gig, and it's 108.25. So as a reviewer, that's all I need to do. I'm happy with the detail. I can now approve that. When I hit approve, it asks me, hey, when do you want to pay this? So companies are different. So it was entered on the 12th. So generally, companies I'm working at would do a Friday run. But it already is Friday, and you probably find that they've already prepared the batch for last week. So I'm going to go and say make this on the 19th. And then when do I want this to be in the reporting? I would say, no, that's fine. It was on the 2nd, entered on the 12th. I'm happy for it to be on the 2nd because it's in the current month. And then I authorize. So now, when it's done that, it's now awaiting payment. And so you'll see Alan's actually got 3. And there's due dates 11, 19, and 12. And that's it. That's how that's the process of loading, authorizing, and then awaiting payment. Okay, so the last step is to actually work out who you need to pay. So again, if you come down to accounts and expense claims, there's that third or that other tab, second tab that says awaiting payment. Shows the ones awaiting payment, shows the list here, and then from here you can just go ahead and make payments. So log into internet banking, etc. There may be a Xero report that can handle it better than this, but this is where I would generally be looking and be making the payments for each of the individuals. Obviously, again, here I can see Alan's got 2 claims that are due in today, so I can go and add those together manually. All right, hope that was helpful. I will post another video as a follow-on if needed. Okay, have a good day.